all, welcome to ShareTreck. Today is the 11th of January 2022 and this is the latest CRISPR update. As always, I'm going to start with some good news. We have a lot of positives in the market in terms of collaborations, and as I mentioned earlier, mergers, acquisitions and strategic alliances are going to be the order of the day in 2022 for our field. So I have some news I'm going to share with you, and after that I'll be talking to you about the technical analysis of the CRISPR shares that we follow, and we'll take it from there. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is a collaboration between Century Therapeutics and Bristol Myers. Bristol Myers is paying $100 million in cash and $50 million in equity to Century Therapeutics for engineering stem cells to produce new off-the-shelf therapies for cancer. So Century Therapeutics already has got FDA-approved therapies in their war chest, but they have got a few more in the pipeline, and Bristol Myers is collaborating in 2 of them. So it says that if the 4 potential programs covered under the pact reach the market milestone, payments could bring Century more than $3 billion. So if all of them succeed, then Century can get net in around $3 billion. So what are those? If I look at the website of Century Therapeutics and take a look at their pipeline, I can see these 2 candidates, CNTY104 and CNTY106. One is targeting acute myeloid leukemia, the other is tackling multiple myeloma. So they are both expecting to have the IND submission in 2024. So it's in pretty early stages, but a collaboration nonetheless is really a good shot in the arm for the company. So that's what we have here as the first bit of good news. Next, let us look at Neogene. Neogene Therapeutics has found synergy with National Cancer Institute because National Cancer Institute has got a portfolio of T-cell receptors and those are compatible and more synergistic with the Neogene platform, the Neogene's proprietary TCR isolation platform, which provides expanded opportunity to target multiple neoantigens in individual patients. So that's the reason why they went into this strategic alliance. Neogene plans to evaluate both autologous and allogenic T-cell therapies targeting neoantigens in a broad spectrum of solid cancer. Neogene will provide an updated corporate review at the 40th annual JP Morgan Healthcare Conference today. That is around 3 p.m., just about the time that this video will be available on YouTube. Further, Neogene has been granted worldwide rights to develop, manufacture, and commercialize this TCR portfolio of autologous and allogenic T-cell therapy product candidates that are engineered with CRISPR technology for the treatment or prevention of cancer. Pursuant to the terms of the license agreement, Neogene will provide an upfront payment and certain clinical, regulatory, and sales milestones payments, as well as royalties on net sales of products covered by this license, and those payments will be made to National Cancer Institute. So that's what we have as far as Neogene is concerned. Next online is a news article on Editas, where Editas is going to give us a press briefing on their pipeline progress, and it seems that they may have some good announcements to make. So I will get more details for you in this. In fact, I have identified this as a separate video topic, and I will drop a video very soon on this one. Here is a quick glimpse of the press release from Editas, and anticipated 2022 milestone include initial clinical data for EDIT-301 in sickle cell disease by year-end, dosing of first TDT patient with EDIT-301, initiation of pediatric high-dose cohort for EDIT-101 in LCA10, and a clinical data update on EDIT-101 in second half of 2022. Company announces new development candidates EDIT-103 for RHO, AD-RP, and EDIT-202 multiplexed INK cell therapy for solid tumors. So there is a whole lot to unpack out here. So I need some time to go through this and understand, at least from a investor level, in order to bring this to you. So I'm going to take a little time on that. There is another press release that I refer to. Neogene Therapeutics announces exclusive license with National Cancer Institute for a portfolio of T-cell receptors targeting KRAS and TP53 mutations for the treatment of cancer. And then, of course, BMS puts $150 million on table in the off-the-shelf therapy alliance with Century. So I'm going to put a link to put the links for all these press releases in the description. You can always check it out and read for yourself. Okay, here we go with the VIXN. So VIXN, I'm going to zoom out into the long-term view and then zoom into the current time frame. So we can see that we have broken down a couple of supports, and that's really good news. We are down on the VXN by a significant amount. I think it's close to 3%. So if we go here, it's around 4.26% that we have dropped. So 1.10. So that's really good, and this is a delayed VXN. So we might be much better when we actually look at the Nasdaq. So Nasdaq here is showing a positive gain of 1.09%, that is 162.77, and we have a support at 14,954.18, and we have a resistance at 15,419, and our MACD is looking very bullish. It's turned upwards and crossed the signal line. Our RSI momentum is also shooting up, so everything is looking good in the market. Now let's go and have a look at our biotech sector, and the topmost gainer is Beam. So if you recollect, yesterday I was lamenting the fact that the market is crazy and nobody's paying attention to this great news about Beam. So it's all come in today, 9.55%. If any of you had bought Beam yesterday, you would be raking in a lot of money today. So Beam is now at 75.00. It has jumped across two resistances, so I've marked them both as supports. So the last support that we have is at 74.19, and the Beam is at 75. Our next resistance is going to be at 78.83. So that's where we are. Next look at, I'd also like to look at the MACD, which is bullish. And RSI also, the momentum has picked up very strongly. Now if I go to a one-day time frame, again in one day also it is looking good. So let's go on to TDOC. TDOC has gained 5% today, and it's at 86.29 right now, and our resistance is at 84.91. The MACD is bullish, and the RSI is picking up, so it's all looking good. CRISPR is up 4.51%. It's at 72.21 right now. And if I look at the MACD, I think the MACD is just about to cross over the signal line. So that's a good sign, and RSI is moving up, the momentum is picking up, so that's also very good. And the formation that we are seeing here right now, this is a 1 minute formation, but typically when you have a small green bar engulfed by a bigger red bar, that is typically called as a bullish harami, which means that it's a bullish signal, and things will pick up from there. So this is a very short term, so whatever comes out of it will only be a short term result. It's not like a weekly candle or something. These are all 1 minute candles. So, but still we can take anything positive that comes our way. Let's look at Bluebird. Bluebird is up 2.66%. That's around 25 cents. The MACD is bearish, and the momentum is totally short. So I suspect that we are likely to lose the little gain of 25 cents by the end of the day if this continues. On the other hand, we could also have a possibility that we may bounce back, having oversold a lot on RSI, because the RSI has gone below oversold. So there is the possibility of a bounce back, because some people might think that, you know, it's gone far low, and we can just, the short-term traders might try to buy and capitalize on a small move upward, because it has got to bounce back at least 5 or 10 points. So that's what you have there. Next is ARKG at 1.94% gain. It has gained $1. One of the things I was thinking about, as I told you earlier, I'm considering investing in ARKG. So if you look at the dividend of ARKG, right, they recently gave a dividend, and the dividend was 38 cents. At current prices, it turns out to a return of 8%. Okay, so if any of you are looking for dividend, then definitely the rate of dividend here looks pretty good. So even from that point of view, ARKG looks like very oversold, like 8% return. This is phenomenal. So I think it looks good. I would be probably looking at buying some this week. But before I do that, I want to make sure that we go past these two resistances, because this could again push it back down, and then we don't know what happens. MACD is looking bullish, and RSI is looking pretty good because it is shooting up. That means increasing momentum. Dark pool activity is also green, so that looks good. Next, let's go to Vertex. It's up 1.07%, that is $2.43, and Vertex has gone above one of the resistances, which was for us at, let me first mark that as a support, which was for us at 224.46. So we are right now at 226.39. So I'm going to mark that as a support. And the other resistance that we are trying to penetrate is at 226.21. So we are just a few cents above it. So I'll wait for until the end of the day before I mark that as a support, so that it's tested and you bounce off it. So I think we have resumed, as far as Vertex is concerned, I think we have resumed on our upward momentum, because if you see, this was a bullish channel, and then we had a bit of consolidation on the side, and now I think this is a steep upward movement. Now let's look at NTLA. NTLA is up 0.78%, that is 81 cents, and it is going to negotiate this new resistance at 108.01 before making any further moves up. MACD is bullish, and momentum is not that great, but it seems to be moving sidewards. The dark pool activity is negative, so I would be happy if we end the day with NTLA on the positive. Our next support is going to be at 102.48. Next, let's go to Editas, which is up 0.12%, and hopefully with their new press release and details about the pipeline, if we have some good news there, that could prove to be a catalyst. So right now we have jumped over one of the resistances, which was at 25.50. So I'm going to mark it as a support by turning it green, and then we have a next resistance, which is going to be at 26.67. The dark pool activity seems to be pretty good. The MACD is bullish. The RSI is also decent. So I'm expecting that we're going to have at least sideward movement, but not fall below the support that we have right now. Next is REGN, which is up 0.33%, that is $2. And we have gone above a whole lot of resistances. So I'm going to mark them as supports. So let us start with this one. I love doing this because this gives a great deal of security that if things are going to come down, there is a lot of hurdles for the downward movement. So having marked all these as support, let us look at the latest one. The latest is at 624.20, and we are at 623.32. So that's a struggle to break through this resistance also. If that happens by the end of the day, I'll mark it green. And if we do cross that, then our next resistance is going to be 629.02. Our MACD is bullish. Our RSI is also pretty good. There's plenty of way before it can become overbought. So I'm really rooting for REGN to put on a few more cents, maybe 20 or 30 cents before close. The dark pool activity is also positive. Pfizer is marginally up 0.05%. I wouldn't talk too much about Pfizer and Novartis because these are all established companies, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm not too worried about them. They will always bounce back. They have revenues, they pay dividends, and if you look at Pfizer, it's paying a dividend of around 40 cents. I'm going to look at take a quick look at the bio-adjacent shares. So IBM with Watson is not doing that great. It's at minus $3.56. That is 2.64% down, and the earning is coming up on the 24th of January. So hopefully that will be a catalyst, and we are below our two supports, so I have to mark these as resistances, and IBM has to first cross these two before it can do anything else. Next, we are going to Google, which is up 27.18%. Again, I strongly believe in Google. They have a whole lot of potential, and I don't think they are overvalued. The MACD is bullish. The RSI is shooting up. The momentum is picking. This is great. It's up 0.98%, and I'm hoping that by the end of the day, it should have put on another $1 or so to its tally. And let's go on to Palantir, which is up 3.58%. The MACD is bullish. The RSI is shooting up, so the momentum is picking up. The dark pool activity is a bit negative, but Overall, it's up 60 cents, and we'll take that. Next, we go to NVDA, 89.89% above positive, and it's up $2.44. And our support still remains at 269.53, and we have a resistance which is this diagonal green line. So it could be at around $288 or something like that, and our horizontal resistance is 288.36. So when we come up here potentially on the 12th of January, it's going to be a very, very solid barrier for NVIDIA to break, but we'll cross the bridge when we come to it. So that's all I have today for my session. Once again, thanks a lot for all the support you are giving me. I can't believe that it's already 1.5 months since we started this channel. We have around 62 or 63 videos, and we have more than 70 subscribers right now. And thanks for all the likes. If you like anything that you see, don't hesitate to press the like button, because that allows other people to discover our channel, and I'll be very grateful to you for that. Bye for now. Have a great day. Until next time.